name is Felix Beck, the Rabbi for Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, it's Christmas time. It's a time of peace and goodwill to all men. So I thought I'd extend my presence to you, the YouTube people more closely, so you can see more than just this little square of what's behind me. I want to show you my office. I want to show you what I'm looking at, and take you on a little tour of the evil lair that the Rabbi from Another Planet does hang out in. Okay, so that's what you see from behind my chair. Let's turn around so you can see my view. That's my computer where I work. Many hard drives and a bottle of water, because I sometimes drink water. Okay, so let's start looking at Doctor Who figures. We have the creator at the back, Missy, a Cyberman, and what's that? She's not Martha. What's her bloody name again? Can't remember. I quite liked her. I preferred her to the person before. We're going too fast. Okay, lots of Doctor Who figures. That McGann figure is a custom that I did. I did not do that blue Tom Baker one. There's Perry looking like an awfully good swimmer. It took me through much of my adolescence there. Lots of Tom Bakers. There we go. Now we're into the Master Zone. Lots of Masters. That's the Doctor's watch that keeps his essence. Back there is the Scarrow Zone. Up here we have the TARDIS, of course, the space with the Doctor with all his companions. I think recreating Journey's End was that. Now we're on to the Matt Smith era, again recreating how he turned up in the TARDIS, and we're in the Pandorica. I kind of enjoyed that whole season, Pandorica, in the Stone Daleks, the Mop. In the new Dalek Paradigm, that lasted one episode. But they look very good in action figures. They just didn't look very good in on screen. I did all these backgrounds myself because I'm a sad geek. There we got the Doctor's wife. Now we're back onto more Moffat stuff. And now you can see a young Stephen Moffat in the background of the library there, reading a Doctor Who Target novelization. I thought it was kind of cute having that overlooking his adult creations, some Krillitanes. And we're into the Cybermen, Revenge of the Cybermen, Nova Beacon, then there's Invasion Cybermen, 10th Planet Cybermen, 10th Planet Cybermen, Tomb of the Cybermen, Earthshock Cybermen, and now we're on to more contemporary Cybermen. I can't remember the names, the one where he wore the 3D specs. Those, that Rose and Doctor figures were the first figures they made. They weren't supposed to be articulated, which is why they're sculpted a little bit strange. I really like those little pigmen servitors of the Daleks in Dark Manhattan. And again, I like the space pig. They have a Captain Jack, Captain John, the guy from the first episode of Sex and Torchwood, which was actually quite good. That was Chimbo, I think, wasn't it? And even though it was quite good, that picture, that Doctor right there in the tux, that's a custom, not by me. I did that. I got that from eBay. The Moxa Bohoon, the face of Bo, and now we're on to the black and white figures. Which I really did enjoy. A bit of Rick and Morty. The Trump and Rocket Man was my wife brought me back when she went to the States recently. I do love those Rick and Morty constructor sets. I never really warmed to this whole Eagle Moss series, but I just love this Eagle Moss Emperor Dalek, which is why I got the series. So, where are we on to next? Now we go over here, and we're at the top of my shelf, a bit of Duff Beer. Monkey's an awesome show. Monty Python, that Doctor Who figure and Dalek were from a pre-2005 range. And that Davros as well. The Dalek is from, the TARDIS is from something different, but it was the same scale, so I put them together. Nearly the same scale. Okay, more Monkey. The Elephant's made for me by my daughter when she was little. There's some comic books, the Star Wars Zone of comic books. And, let's look at one of my comic books, because that's the most interesting. The Imperium, saving the 1960s from threats beyond reality. And I put that very egotistically, I put that on the Alan Moore shelf. We're going to see it in a minute. This is a friend of mine's comic. I'm just putting it out now. The Tales from the Whorehouse of Horror. It is so filthy and so funny. This is a special necrophilia edition. What's going on here? It's okay, she consented. It's showing points at a Ouija board. You will never be able to find that, but it's just freaking hilarious. They got Cyberfrog there and Jawbreakers. Now at the Alan Moore Zone. That little frog was made by my other daughter. Doctor Who comics and Doctor Who comics reprints and Cerebus, because they just fit in nicely on the shelf with one another. Now we're into Doctor Who magazine. This is post 2005 Doctor Who magazine after they returned, and now we're on to pre 2005 Doctor Who magazine. I've been reading it since issue I think 82, but then when I moved to Israel, I found a guy selling a job lot on eBay. Oh, check these out. These are con sketches
Fantastic concert by fantastic guys. That was Dave McKean, freaking Dave McKean. There, Brian Talbot, John Hickleton. He's passed away. Did used to do Nemesis Award. Jim Blakey, I think. Glenn Fabry, original Glenn Fabry sketches. Look at those, isn't that just gorgeous? I really should get these framed. And then I can't remember who that is. Mike Collins. That's Mike Collins. He did a lot of Doctor Who strips. Carl Baker. That was a character from the Shadow series he did in the 80s or 90s. Lou Stringer, more well known for doing comical humor strips. I can't remember who did the death. I think it's John Higgins. John Higgins. I got a sketch by him coming up again in a second. I can't remember his name. Another sketch by Brian Talbot. Look at this. It's freaking gorgeous. Hammerstein from the ABC Warriors. And, oh no, that's Jim Blakey. That's another Blakey. But the next one coming up is Hammerstein and Nemesis the Warlock. This freaking gorgeous sketch he did there. And we're going to get a better look now at. Oh no, that's John Ridgway. We're going to get a better look at the. Oh, look at that. Dave Gibbons, Rorschach original. Man, I should get that freaking frame. Look at that. Looks gorgeous. Okay, what else going on here? That's a John Ridgway sketch of the Seventh Doctor. And I think we're going over now. We're going to be looking more at the. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the Dave McKean sketch again. Not Dave McKean, Bill Sinkovich sketch. That's another Glenn Fabry sketch of Pluke. What was this? An 88 probably. What's going on there? What else is there? I can't remember who did that. John McCree. John McCree did a bunch of stuff with Garth Ennis. I'm trying to focus on his signature so I can remember who he is when I do the commentary over this video. And Liam Sharp doing Green Arrow now. No, the Green Lantern right now. And again, John Higgins did the colouring on Watchmen. Let's have a look. Okay, so up here we have that's the Judge Dredd Mega Collection. It's pretty much every Judge Dredd story up until a couple of years ago, and all the spin-off stories as well. My Doctor Who shelf, these busts, I just loved. I was hoping they were going to do one of all of them, but they didn't, so unfortunately can't have them. They're the we see the DVDs, but in the front we have the new Blu-ray sets, and I think, yeah, I'm going to show you off. I made my own covers because I just hated the Jodie Whittaker logo so much. See what else there is. Fine, so this is the Virgin series and the BBC series of novels, Virgin series in the background. That was a fantastic era. You know, that's a real era of Doctor Who. There we got the giant-sized planetary, some more comic books. Powers. Powers is a great series. Again, it's such a shame Bendis has just gone so woke. And over here we got some DC Vertigo books. And now we got some reference books. Star Trek Phase 2. They made real Star Trek episodes of Star Trek Phase 2. The Star Trek Continues crew did them. We got more comics. The Prophet, that's a great series. And also Manhattan Project, you just saw briefly. Over here, my Bessie table. Now we're on some more action figures. This is the Tom Baker zone of action figures. A bit of Scarrow from City of Death, and now that's the Remembrance of the Daleks set. That background came, I think, with the box that came in, and now we've got the third Doctor set. We've got Omar up there, Drashig, Gelguard, Sea Devils, Ice Warriors, and now let's go out of my office into the recreation zone. That's my TV. That's where I watch TV. Where the speakers are. We have a remote control Davros and a plush Chewie, and remote control K9. Who doesn't love K9? K9, it has these lovely little expressions on it. You can just see Marv from Sin City in backgrounds of Watchmen figures. This is new. This was a Hanukkah gift to me from my wife, that Judge Dredd figure. Freaking love it. Bit of Starbug under there, and smaller Judge Dredd, Judge Death, and Walter White from Breaking Bad. Looks like he's been arrested. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, Sopranos, HBO at its best. Then we got, I don't know, West Wing. I never even watched it. The Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes, the more contemporary Sherlock Holmes, and 2005 onwards, Doctor Who. I can't remember the name of this range, but the Force Unleashed, Force Unbound, something like that. But I love these very like kinetic action figures. We've got the Clone Wars, and yes, I have the Last Jedi. I hang my head in shame. I bought the Last Jedi because I was still in too much shock when it came out. That I thought, well, I got to watch it again and see what it is. I built that Star Destroyer from a kid. I built the Millennium Falcon, the Han and Chewie, Also come from that same range that Darth Maul and Darth Vader came from. Now we got a Judge Dredd statue. That's before they put out the figures. Judge Dredd helmet, Judge Dredd badge, a Dalek that came out before 2005. My wife got me that for Hanukkah years ago on my birthday. Actually, it's one of my favorite presents I've ever had. That's this Lost series action figure series, and Yellow Submarine, a bit of Simpsons down there. And below that, we have that bottle was used in Battlestar Galactica. What episode? Razor? Was it Razor? I can't remember. Now, over that's the couch where I sit. That Terminator, his eyes light up, and my finger comes in frame. I built that Battlestar Galactica, and also lights up. I built the Silent Raider. My son is in the army. Built the AT-AT. I bought the Ed 209. I built the Enterprise. That's a Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica zone. And up there we have yet another Dalek, because you know what? You can't have too many Daleks. And that is my view when I watch TV. That looks very messy. I should really clean up those wires. Let's have a look, see what's over there. Okay, now we're over here. This is a sonic screwdriver. It's also a universal remote control. That's the Blade Runner gun. I built that. I built the Battlestar Galactica gun. Or I painted it anyway. The phaser, JJ phaser, came with the special edition of the Blu-ray that I got. Now we're on to the video zone. You can see my physical media collection. I try and keep everything thematically grouped in. So you've got The Rock and Con Air next to each other, which are basically this very similar movies. And I keep all the everything thematically. That's the Tarantino section. This is more like the Rick Toro section. But Apocalypse Now, one of my favorite movies of all time. Now we're on to the superhero section. We've got DC, X-Men, and Marvel. You won't be able to see Endgame because I just lent it to a friend last night. Heroes, season 1. I kept season 1 because that was a pretty good season. Dennis Potter, fantastic writer. If you can ever find his work, I would check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. Callan, I did a video on that recently. Luther, Cracker, great series. Minder, another great series. And My Finger, not a great series. Blake Seven, Space 99, The Prisoner, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Red Dwarf, and more of My Fingers. And Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't know why I got that there. Watchmen, this is my superhero adjacent section, going on Farscape. Fringe, I still enjoy Fringe, the JJ show. Westworld season 2, I got to really go back and watch that, even though I didn't understand. Mad Men's probably one of my favourite shows of all time. Indiana Jones working as a buffer zone between Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, because of course, why wouldn't you? We've got the Matrix up there. Ealing Comedies, oh man, I love Ealing Comedies. You've never seen Ealing Comedies? It's the most British thing you've ever seen. Okay, then we have like the horror section of my DVD. Bit of Sergeant Bilko. What else we got? Okay, now we're over to the spy section. Bit of Bond action. You can Spectre's behind there, but who cares? Spectre was awful. Mission Impossible, Bourne movie. Ronin, that's a great freaking movie. True Blood was good for 2 seasons. I kept buying it even after it went bad. And then I stopped eventually. And over here is something that I really, really love, right next to my bathroom. It is a fake Radio Times cover from 1968 celebrating a fake 5th anniversary, which is modelled on the 50th anniversary, the Day of the Doctor. See Peter Cushing take instead of John Hurt. He made like a fake 6 Doctors one. And look at these telesnaps. John Cora telesnaps. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you know what they are. Because he made a fake one of those. So there you have it, the rabbi from another planet's lair. So now you know the inhuman working conditions I'm forced to toil endlessly away for you, my dear watch. I was going to say listeners, but viewers, my dear viewers. Happy holidays, everybody. A Merry Christmas to you out there if you're celebrating Christmas. Happy Hanukkah if you're like me, you're Jewish, or happy whatever you want to be happy. I just have a happy Wednesday. My name's Celia Beck and the Rabbi from the Planet. Please like, share, subscribe, ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. Normally I say, please share these videos, but this is kind of embarrassing. Kind of like I'm showing off a bit. So I guess share if you want, but it's a bit sad and embarrassing. Either way, thanks so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.